Capricorn, welcome to your weekly reading going from the 23rd to the 29th of January. So we're moving out of your season and moving into the Aquarius season. Things should start ticking in. Things should start getting a little bit more concrete. We've got loads of things going on in the planetary sort of system as well. We've been through Mercury retrograde, Mars retrograde. Everything seems to be on direct at the moment, I think. You might correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm not an astrologer, just to sort of say that. And then we're going to go back into Mercury retrograde as well. And then in the beginning of March, there's loads of things going on. And this is, every single reading seems to be teeing things up, sorting things out, getting things in place where we can, take full advantage of this change that's coming in beginning of March. I was calling it the February anomaly in the yearly readings which are out, and I think there's a bit of a glitch that comes up at the end of February before it's sort of like, it's almost like the last thing that we're snagging on, as it were. Let's just get straight into this and let's see what's going on. Here's your chakra man. Let's just go into, so we're going to go through the chakras, the auras, your chakras, your aura, and then do your cards. Okay, let's just see what's going on with your root chakra. Okay, on the emotional sort of side, there's nothing really grounded for you at the moment. I think you're work orientated. What a surprise, Capricorn. You've got on the left-hand side of your left-hand side, imagine it if it's like your left-hand leg, left-hand side of you there, you've got a very solid root chakra. So it should be defined about what you're going to be doing this year. Or not necessarily sort of saying, I'm going to buy this car at this time, this colour and everything like that. Just saying, I'd like to buy a car. Because life is not so set in stone. And if you can understand that, it's, I prefer it to be white, or I prefer it to be black, or I prefer it to be red, yellow, whatever colour you like. But it's preference about it. But you probably need a car, for example. That might be true for some of you. So, but it seems to be that sort of thing where getting concrete things on the go. And I think you're going to find the environment of 2023 a lot more conducive for you, a lot more helpful, let's put it that way. Because we've also got Pluto coming out as well, out of Capricorn, which is going to be great. It's been a very good lesson, I think, this last 12, 14 years in Pluto. Let's just have another look. So let's just see what else is going on there. So there is a definite transition within the, on the right hand side here. This is all to do with your emotions, your sort of where you're rooted within your relationships, where you're rooted within your emotions of yourself. Things seem to be changing here. There seems to be an evolutionary process. It's almost as if you've been swimming underwater for a long time and you're coming up for air. And it's at the beginning, it's just kind of like you're just taking a big, deep breath. So, you're still got that fluid side to you, as it were. Let's just see what's going on your sacrum. Yeah, this is reiterating the material world. So, on the right-hand side of your sacrum, it's a lot less than on the right-hand than on the left-hand side. So therefore, you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful with that sort of work-play ethic. You do need a bit of activities just to take away that stress. And it's going to help you work a lot easier in the future. It's going to channel or canalize that energy into your material world, or that projects that you want to do. And the energy around you in the world at the moment is becoming very conducive to your style of doing things. And you've been practicing it over the last 12, 14 years in Pluto, and it keeps coming in, keeps going out, keeps coming in, keeps going out. A bit like the Three of Wands, it's terrible. And if you've got this far and you're still on your plan, there's a very good chance you're going to get traction this year. But in order to make that most profitable and the most give it the biggest possible chance of success, I would certainly look at doing activities which allow you to sort of just sort of breathe and just do something completely different, basically. Let's just see what's going on your solar plexus. Okay, this is very nice. It's very well set. Therefore, there's a definition of what you want and what you're going to put your passions into. And it's going to make you feel like that when you're working to the rhythm, things are really good. Things are working really well. There is at the top of the chakra, it does droop a little bit, and I think this is because it's sort of, I think you've got to the stage now where I think you understand the situation where it's a case of, I'll try this, it's not working, okay, let it go. And you seem to have developed that sort of attitude with your passion. It doesn't mean let go and that's it, you never look at it again. It may be just today's not the day to do that one thing. And, you know, working with things that tend to work for you or work with you is where you're going to put your passion. So they've got that droopy bit. It's not detrimental at all. In fact, it's a really nice thing. It allows you to just let things go for a little while. It will drop out into your aura and it will do the tour. It will go around the universe. And then at some point, it will represent itself to you. And at that point there, it'll be kind of going, oh, and it works. You know, that's the sort of scenario. And that could be within your relationships as much as your business and stuff like that. So that's quite nice. It's really... it's warm, it's beautifully well structured at the base. It's almost like a glowing trumpet, quite literally like a trumpet. And then the end of the trumpet is a little bit more sort of lupsy-daisy, as it were, which is a good thing, because it doesn't mean you're not gonna lose yourself in things. You're gonna be very philosophical about things. Let's just see what's going on in your heart chakra. So there's a lot of emotions just under the surface, but there's not a lot of deep emotions here. I think you've almost... it could be a case of acceptance. That's the word I'm looking for. It could be a case of acceptance. Basically, accepting what I was talking about earlier on, sort of when things work and when they don't work. So then you sort of kind of go, okay, I'll put that thing that doesn't work to one side and I'll concentrate on the things that work. And that's the same thing with your emotional sort of side and concerns with your heart. But there is a lot of emotions on the surface. So if you imagine the chakra, the heart chakra is like a crystal disc in a way, and it can swell in different parts of it. And you've got the swelling on the exterior around the exterior, like a ring around the exterior, just under the surface, a little bit like I want to say like a blister that you'd get, and I think that is to do with the work again, because blisters is to do with work. But there is nothing, it's not damaged your actual finger. You've just got a blister on your finger, and that blister will eventually sort of pop or whatever. The emotions will come out and it'll dry up and everything will be fine. You're not really injured or anything like that. It's just a natural process of the body. And this is a natural process of the heart chakra. So on the outside of the heart chakra, it is incredibly social. And I've seen a lot of this within all the readings that I've done this week. And there has been particular cards that have been coming out. Ace of Cups, the Temperance, the Hierophant has been coming out in a lot of people. Those three cards seem to be ringing a lot at the moment. And here is like, I think where it ties into the Hierophant is you've gained that sort of understanding about certain situations that are around you that now no longer affect you. Before, they would have drained you, and you would have felt that you're constantly having to battle to get through life. And here, I think it's a case of not only, I think it's because basically it's like two hands clapping a fight. The moment you take away one hand, you do nothing but wind the other person. And that person eventually kind of goes, oh, I can't be bothered with that, and wanders off. And I think you've understood this within your relationships, within the work ethic, within your career plan, within lots of things, actually. And so then therefore you're getting involved in a lot of emotions that are concerned about here and now. So something turns up and you'll be, oh right, and you'll be there, you'll be fully emotionally engaged with the situation, but there's no deep emotions coming out of the surface at the moment. So it's very open to that exchange with other people, basically. It might come out with, you might meet someone in this sort of scenario when your heart's in this sort of scenario. Because when we meet someone for the first time, it's very surface sort of emotions that we deal with. There's no real deep emotions. That's when we start, when we've been in a couple for a long time, then the deeper emotions start coming to the surface and stuff like that. It could be a very electric emotion with someone that is around you, or someone that you meet. It's very possible that. It's not for everybody, but it's very possible. So yeah, and I think that's sort of where you've got the lopsy-daisy, so the solar plexus sort of like almost supports the heart, if you like. It's almost going like that. If you look at it side on, if you're looking on that one, it supports it, and it's that lopsy-daisy part of the petal, which is sort of like bending down, is where that swelled section is within you. So it's feeding as well. That sort of, it's almost where the, you've got a fire that's got lots and lots of embers that you've chucked loads of wood on. You wouldn't know that those embers are there because you couldn't really see them, and you've just got the flames that are just starting to make their way through the wood. So you've got this stock of wood that hasn't actually been burnt, but now flames are coming up at the surface. That's very similar to how the solar plexus is really, and the heart is really interacting with one another. Those embers, that really solid base of that solar plexus is feeding those emotions of the here and now. So you might feel yourself very zippy, very social, almost, quick with the wit, gift of the gab sort of scenario, that sort of thing. Let's just see what's going on the third eye and the throat chakra. Okay, this is very stable. So you have like the third eye is longer than the throat chakra, which is almost like a normal position. The normal position is like that. The throat and the third eye are the same chakra. It's just a U shape like that. So the throat is the back of the third eye, or you could say the third eye is the back of the throat. I don't really care, whichever way you take it. But here the third eye is slightly more in front, and I think you've learnt your lesson of patience, basically, Capricorn. And here they're sort of kind of going, something fantastical may be happening in your life. And this could be on the relationships front. This could also be on, on your material side of life. But you're as cool as a cucumber. You're not going to lose. So if you're running a business and you get like 20 sales and you kind of go, wow, this is going to be amazing. It's more sort of kind of going, yeah, 20 sales, it's a good start. That's the sort of attitude you've got. It's very sort of matter of fact. When I'm getting 20,000 sales in the hour, then I'll be jumping up and down. That's the sort of scenario that Capricorn has got his head on, and it's really level-headed. It's good to see you back, Capricorn. It's good to see you back after 12 years. Let's just see what's going on the crown chakra. Okay, this is because you're focusing on your past so much, it's almost bringing your consciousness within yourself. And I would be just a little bit wary of that. It could make you very insular, have very surface relationships, which we talked about earlier on. And I think you're right to be in that position at the moment. But all I'm saying is it's not that I'm calling you out or anything, Capricorn, but, at some point you've got to develop those relationships that you connect with, rather than just constantly having new relationships start up and come through your life but doesn't really stick. I think you may find yourself sort of, in the end, if you continue like that, you may be withdrawing yourself in there. So, you know, withdrawing from society, which is not such a good thing. Let's just see. I think this is more, I think it's gradually opening up more than anything else. It's almost as if like an air bubble has come up through your chakras, and as it comes up through the crown chakra, as it comes up in this midsection, it pulls in the upper section, and it's going to go boom. And it may be this realization that is coming to the surface this week. Let's just have a look at your consciousness that is inside your crown chakra. There seems to be a bit. I think this ties into that realization sort of scenario. So I think there's a lot of understanding happening at the moment, understanding about yourself, understanding how you connect with the outside world. That seems to be the lesson that is being put into place. As I said, I would just be wary about pulling too much out of society and just going into yourself, because we can do that from time to time, Capricorn. This is like noticing. So if you want to sort of keep that a little bit in check, to open it slightly, it's good within your meditation, just within a quiet moment, just recognize the connection that everything has between each other. So between the bird and the tree. So the bird will eat the fruit of the tree, and then it will sow those seeds of that tree in another place because it's gone through the bird, etc. You know, a distribution, and the bird needs the tree in order to eat, and etc. So there is this, you know, recognizing that coexistence, that cohabitation between different species and different sort of entities, really, I think will help you to sort of relax that crown chakra a little bit and allow you to actually position yourself in the world around you. Because I think it's going to be quite difficult. The reason I think it's going to be quite difficult, because it looks like everything else is set up for success. And when you get success, it can be, it can be a lonely place, like a music star or a film star or stuff like that. You know, they'll tell you every day of the week. But I wouldn't. This is why I wouldn't lock yourself out from any of it. As things start to progress, as things start to evolve within your world around you, I think you're going to need more and more the connections with the people that are around you, that give you that constant and that also that depth within you, which you will be looking for because you do like it. Okay. So yeah, and I would then also look at doing activities which you just find fun. Little things could be quite literally just dancing to music and stuff like that in the front room. Okay, let's just have a look at your aura. Let's see what's going on there. It was funny. I think I saw it. I don't know who I saw it on, but there is this point where it's almost as if like it's like it's got normally you have nice smooth layers in your aura, right? And here you come up and there's like this ridge. But it's like this ridge because there's like a new aura that's being created within you. Does that make sense? I think it's the way you're changing your view of the world according to what you've been through over the last 12, 14 years with Pluto. And I think this is like almost being set into motion within your energies there. The rest of it is really nice. I just think this transition for some Capricorns can be quite stressful to find your position of how you sit within society around us. Sometimes it can be quite difficult. Someone, who's having mental health issues, the majority of the time, they're going to turn around to you and say, it's not that I didn't know, it's because I knew too much. More than anything else. And that's the sort of thing that's happening at the moment. So if you're getting stressed, I would certainly look at sort of doing breathing exercises. There's plenty of people who do that on YouTube. I do my own breathing exercises on my workshops and stuff like that. But You know, you can do a breathing exercise, which just sort of like calms things down and slows things down. I tend to use the tongue and breathe in through the nose, either on one side or the other, and then exhale through the mouth. Get to the point of pause. I'm not going to go through the whole process because we could be here for some time, but it's like your tongue is blocking against your palate, and then it opens up to exhale, and as you exhale, it blocks. You breathe in through the nose. It's almost as if you're swallowing the air in a way. It's like you're swallowing the prana energy, okay? And that'll bring you back with that constant, and that'll help you in that transitional sort of thing, okay? So, I haven't even got my cards out. What is that all about, eh? Gee whiz. Let's move on to your cards here and see what's going on. Let me just, because I've only just got them out. Okay. Right. There you go. Thank you very much. Let's just see what's going on your overall energies for this week. It's like a dam breaking. There's, I don't think it's it is a release, but I don't think it's within you. I think it's in the outside world. As I said before, I think we've been, Capricorn's been under a lot of constraints over the past sort of 12, 14 years. And I think those constraints are breaking. And I think that's what the dam is all about. Yeah, it's the King of Swords. You know where you're going. This is through judgment of oneself, of understanding, of lessons that we've learned. And basically, the King of Swords is up there, and it's really, he's got a, you know, he knows where he's going. He knows what he's doing. There is authority within him because it's out of judgment. And in a way, he can survey everything that is around him without going anywhere. So he can see things and observe things and learn things from things that are very far away in a way. So, but it's all to do with sureness or confidence within oneself. That's what it seems to be about. Let's just see how the guides are trying to influence this karmic message. This is on your relationship side. I think there's it's don't be surprised. Don't be surprised by the word. Do you remember I was saying earlier on, sort of saying, I've only got 20 at the moment. Yeah, that's fine. I'll be jumping around when there's 20,000. There's almost there. It's like within relationships, they're sort of saying to you, no, you can't do that. In a way, you've got to learn. You've got to express a lot more. I think it's for you to offer yourself to the world that is around you within your relationships. And it's almost a sort of offer, it's sort of saying, that's who I am. Take or leave it. I think that's your attitude. I think it's a good attitude for you at the moment. It may not be a good attitude eternally, but it is a good attitude for you at the moment, simply because you're concentrating a lot, I think, on this side here. But we'll see about that. How's the divine plan sort of influencing this? There's a lot of connections with a lot of people. As I said, there was a very sociable aspect on your heart chakra as well. Look at that, Queen of Cups. How powerful is that base? You know, I think this is, as I said, very sociable. They're saying to you, just share that heart that you've got around you. Don't have to deep it. Just offer it out to everybody just offer your love. Just offer enjoyment. Just offer sort of like happiness and smiles. And if it don't work, don't worry. Just move on. Sort of scenario. Hang on a second. I've just got this one here. You're not going to believe it. Look at that. The Queen of Pentacles as well. It's be the best example of yourself. Be sure. Just live your how sure you are within you. It's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, get into it. Let's just see how your guides are influencing this sort of. They're almost sort of saying, and these are the guides that are dealing with the coincidences that are around you. And they're sort of saying, it's come out, so I'm having it. They're sort of saying, it's good to see my friend back. Ace of Wands. There is a lot of passion in here. It could well be that you're offering your love to someone, you're asking someone to marry you or move in with you or some sort of thing like that. It's very passionate. It's sharing. It's built out of understanding of who you are and stuff like that. So I think through this is gonna. Your guides here are just creating scenarios and situations that can manifest a great future for you, you know, with some really solid grounds and solid, you know, structure to it. Yeah, they understand you now within you, and I think you also understand them, and I think that comes on from the Knight of Swords. This change of energy in you is phenomenal. Let's just see how the guys are trying to influence the conversation that is within you. Don't hold back. Na, na, na. I can't remember the rest of the words. Is that a Kate Bush song or is it a Cyndi Lauper? I don't know. Comments in the description below. Someone tell me. Yeah. So don't hold back, basically, by the looks of things, for you. Five of Pentacles, being stuck out. You may have experienced over the last few years sort of like a chaotic love life, basically, or a chaotic relationships with the world or with the people that are around you. And within this chaotic situation, it's bred within you that idea that I'm not worthy of love in a way, or I'm not gonna meet that person, or I'm not gonna find a harmonious relationships with others that are around you, and people might have actually just shunned you as well, Capricorn. And if they have, then they have. There's nothing you can do about it. It's only up to them. And I think with this new positioning that you got, it's certainly, this is what I was saying earlier on with the crown chakra as well. This plays a little bit into the crown chakra. Don't close yourself off. That Five of Pentacles, they have, she has that key to that door. And it's just there. They've just got to look up and see that and realize and go through the door. And the desolation which you had, the desolation that you had in the past, where you may have felt that you've been shunned, as it were, will pale into insignificance as you go forward in your life. As you I would just be wary, as I said earlier on, just be wary of closing yourself off to relationships that are around you. Allow that passion to come through. This is the past. Let go of the past. Yeah, I do understand that healthy boundary of sort of saying, okay, we'll wait and see how it works. But if it does work, as I said as well earlier on, invest in it. Let's just see what's going on the financial sort of side. This is the karmic message on this financial sort of side. They're lighting fireworks, you know, like a rocket that you do at celebrations and go and explode and everything like that. It's now's the time to get going, Capricorn. Now's the time to go. Is there any choices in this situation? I don't think so. I think it's a case of just realizing that I think you're going to be surprised at it working, and you've got to stop shooting yourself in the foot, and you've got to stop that idea saying this is how it's got to be. So when I said earlier on about this year I'm going to have a car, I want it to be red, I want it to be this make, I want it to be this year, this number of kilometers or miles on the clock, you know, I want the interior like that. You may have to sort of give and take a little bit on your desires here, but at the same time you're not going to be able to just sit on the ground and wait. That rocket has got to take off. There is no real choice in this scenario, I think, with you. Let's just see. So if you're concentrating too hard on that work ethic, which is what I talked about earlier on, and you're not having enough playtime, you may find it a little bit binding. Okay? You may find it a little bit 8 of Swords scenario. You got the 2 of Swords there, but let's just see how the universe or the divine plan is guiding. It's almost like I don't know if you know anything about theatres. You have a person who works in the theatre called the stage manager. The SM. And basically they organise everything that's going on, sort of saying, and now bring in the smoke, now do this. And you're waiting in the wings, and the SMs, this is the SM kind of going, what are you waiting for? Get on stage. Get out there. I think that's, yeah. I think they're asking you to let go of all those worries, those complications that you overthink things. Be the best example of yourself. It is going to be a bit of a learning curve because this success that's coming in for you, and it doesn't look like it on those 2 cards, but this success that is coming in for you, as I said earlier on, it can be quite lonely. And you've got to deal with a lot of things as it starts working. You've got to walk away from the old way of thinking, of the old way of what you thought finances and progression and was all about. You're going to get that job. You're going to progress on that career path this year. And with that comes a lot of stress within the new career path, with the new job. And you've got to get used to it. You got to learn how to deal with it, basically, and be the best example of you. This is where you're going to bring all of your understanding through the King of Swords to the fore, and place it within the workplace. Let's just see how your guides are trying to influence this karmic message. I think it's a case of you're going to be in a scenario. I think you're going to be in a scenario where people are looking at you, Capricorn, and sort of saying, oh, Capricorn, they're still burrowing away, trying to get forward and everything like that. And then they'll look back and they'll kind of go, where's Capricorn? And they'll sort of say, oh, Capricorn's over there. Oh, no, he's not. Where's he gone? Oh, my, how did he get up there? You know, sort of scenario. You know, and I think the guys here are sort of saying, just keep strong to your path. Know your best example of who you are, basically. Yeah, they're going to be, there's a lot of coincidences. This is where you should be concentrating on. If it's working, follow that. If it's not working, put it to one side for the time being. That is a really important process or way to be at the moment for you, Capricorn. It's going to bring the biggest amount of success for you. Whatever you're doing, if it's working for you, concentrate on that. Really concentrate on that at the moment. Let's just see how the guides are trying to influence the conversation that is within you. Solid gains. It's building up like a buffer in your life. It's like sort of saying, I've sold 20, next day I've sold 40, next day I've sold 180. Okay, I've now got a certain amount of sales in. That's my minimum. That's my, my cushion that you sit on, sort of scenario. And it's dealing with that. I think coping with the success is going to be it's going to be interesting for you. I think you're going to enjoy it because it's been a long time coming. And being the best example of yourself, and I think this could obviously be fighting with other people, but I don't think the universe is fighting with you here. I think it's a fight within yourself to maintain or to retain the best side of you, Capricorn, and not get lulled into a false sense of security of life. And being passionate about things, and this is where the heart chakra comes in, applying those emotions that are just under the surface within your work area, getting really passionate about it, is going to bring you real results, and you're going to love what you're doing. It's just going to be absolutely great for you. Let's see what the overall outcome is. I'm wishing on a star to find out where you are. So, yeah, it's all of a sudden now in the next couple of weeks. I think the realization comes next week, and then it's kind of like realizing and kind of go, okay, what do I wish for now? That's the sort of scenario. Temperance, patience, very similar to the King of Swords as well. Having control over the day and night, the rhythmical fashion of life, knowing that when you should be patient, and this is this whole idea of kind of going, got 20 sales, 40 sales, 100 sales, 180 sales. Okay, that's in the bank. 200 sales, 250 sales, 300 sales. Okay, that's in the bank. I can take that, invest. So I go from 350 to 600 sales. And it's being patient and patient with the way in which it happens. In the process, that's what the word I'm looking for. Being patient in the process. Once you start doing that, you're going to start with one. Each step is going to be longer than the next, and before you know it, you're going to be doing huge strides, and you won't realize it. I don't think, Capricorn, within your life. And I think this could be on both angles, because this is what's running through you here, and that's the difficult part. These other sides are really nice. This is the old thing, I think, that is just fading away gradually out of you. Once you become clear about what your decisions you're making and being clear about the best example of who you can be, all of a sudden, within that judgment, you can then work out how to get through that door on the Five of Pentacles and to be in a completely different scenario. So it's like karma payback time. That's what it seems like. Yeah, there you go. Next time, we'll have a look at your karmic block. That'll be great. We'll do that on the chakra side. We'll be doing that maybe in your monthly reading. That'd be interesting, which you've got coming out on Monday. Yeah, I've opened up 5 slots for anybody who'd like a private reading and on YouTube, either a private reading or a healing session with myself. There's 5 slots a week for the next sort of 2 months, just to see how it goes. If they're not taken up, then obviously I'll stop that. But just see how it goes if anybody would wish to have a reading. In the meantime, Capricorn, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.